start this off. Start this off. Hold on. Actually, we got a new thing coming out on the stream, and it's called the You're Going on Trial. When Mindseye trailer originally came out, I saw the trailer. I thought it looked cool. I said, oh, this is going to be a little fire 10 to 15 hour linear story game. Then I saw the internet's reaction to it. And I was like, why everybody hating on this trailer? Then I started seeing some things, some criticisms that I was getting. And I was like, you know what? Those are valid criticisms. We'll see when the game came out. Then I heard of... Wait, does it loop? Okay. Then I heard some of the people who got to preview the game, I heard word through the grapevine that they were saying that they had to do a hands-off demo. And not only did they have to do a hands-off demo, but they did a hands-off demo. The devs did a hands-off demo that was glitchy. So for those of y'all who don't understand why a hands-off demo, let alone a glitchy hands-off demo, is bad for the game, is I've heard a lot of games get demos. I've never heard a successful game that had a hands-off demo that came out. And the reason why hands-off demos in particular are really bad is because usually when a game studio does a hands-off demo, that means they're not confident in their game. They're not confident at all whatsoever that their game is gonna be good, that their game can be played by a regular normal person who's gonna do regular normal people things. They might turn the camera 2 degrees like this and the whole game crash and shut off. Because like, without getting too nerdy, when a game is in alpha, when a game is in active development, a lot of random stuff you could do. You could do something as simple as press jump as soon as the game starts and the game could crash. The game could brick up, go and start falling over like a blue trooper saying that took 15 blue chews. It is what it is. That's just what happens sometimes. So there was that. Then there was the fact that the people who did preview it, from what I heard and from what I saw from like people saying it and what I heard from people hearing from other people, blah, 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 is that shit wasn't looking good. And the day before this game came, the day this game came out, I saw this article on my timeline about Mindseye first hotfix. The game dropped and you're dropping a hotfix, not a day one patch, a hotfix. And they promised that there's more on the way. So this game is so glitchy to the point to where they need to promise they'll fix the game in a little while. Day one. Day one. I remember an era in games where if day one you didn't drop your game working, people would drop your game. Whether it's because they got a school or they're working. If your game wasn't working, I'm not working towards getting money to buy it. I'm not working towards getting home at the end of the day so that I can play your piece of shit. I'm going to play the other person's piece of shit because it works. This is a sad story I've seen time and time again. And let's read these, what are they called? Hot notes, the summary notes. Mindseye first hotfix prioritize game performance with CPU, GPU improvements, and memory optimizations. The hotfix also includes reduced difficulty for mini games. I don't know about that one. Why are you making the mini games easier? Why were they hard in the first place, technically? But whatever. A new depth of field setting. This game came out with no depth of field setting in 2025? And fixes for control. Oh my god. So are you telling me that to play, if I wanted to play this game, like I set my jump button to be space, the game will say, no, your jump button is now J. Developer Build a Rocket Boy, which is the name of the studio. It's like a pimp named Slickback. No, he's not a pimp named Slickback. He's a pimp named Slickback. That type thing. So Build a Rocket Boy is focused on enhancing player experience with a series of updates addressing launch issues. And if that wasn't bad enough, hey, thank you for the W. Follow, go ahead and throw the V one time for me. And I'm going to tell you like I tell everyone here, if you're here to just chill and vibe, that's cool. If you're here to sell me some art, I don't want your fucking art. I can make my own. Anyway, back to this. There's way more examples, but I saw 100,000 different no, that's the wrong button. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Wait, did I? There we go. I pressed the wrong button before. Anyway, like I was saying, it's a ton more articles I saw, but every article I saw about this game day one had a bad headline. And I skimmed through this article, and it's basically talking about the same thing, that they're dropping hot fixes and patches and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not on the Mindseye dude's side, because before the game was coming out, he was lashing out and crashing out in his little Discord saying that there's a paid hit by some studio for him to what you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, they were dropping hit pieces. Smear campaign. He was saying and claiming that there was a very big budget smear campaign against his game, and it's like, no, why? Your game is not important enough to smear campaign. Like, the gameplay of the game, like, it looked cool. Yes, I will say that. I stand on that. The gameplay they showed in the trailers, to me, looked cool. But the shit didn't look revolutionary to the point to where motherfuckers should be scared of you. Who is scared of Mindseye? And like I said, me, I'm a person, I'm always honest about games. You could go back to my Concord videos and look at how, even though I said I liked Concord, I said, I like Concord, but there's some flaws with this game, and the way you're releasing this game is kind of scary. Now, what you're doing is a good thing, but people don't want you to do good things to them. Not saying Mindseye was doing good things, but I'm just saying this game wasn't revolutionary in any way to where anybody should be scared of you. Like, this nigga was moving like he made a game with Malcolm X levels of impact when really you had Robert Freeman levels of impact. Nobody fucking knows you and nobody wants to know you. Nobody's asking you shit. Nobody wants to ask you shit. No, we don't care, nigga. If you was at the marches, it's because, like Robert Freeman, you got on the wrong bus by mistake. You was there by accident. You turned the wrong corner while motherfuckers was marching and news reporters took a picture. That's why you was in the picture. You weren't in the picture because you was marching. You was in the picture because you got hit with an off guard. That's what Mindseye is. This shit is not that level of impactful. So in between seeing that and seeing a bunch of articles and shit, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just like a big media thing. They're shitting on it for views and stuff like that every fucking day for like the past 2-3 days. For like the past 2-3 fucking days, I've been seeing clips like this, man.
Thanks, man. Be seeing you.
And I just collected 2 that I seen. And like that's like, at first I was like, okay, the character model scratched out, haha, that's a goofy glitch. But then failed. I guess, bro.
Be seeing you.
Cause this motherfucker. Well, you could have waited a second more before you drove the car forward, to be fair. But still, at the same time, your game on release should not be doing this shit.
Thanks, man.
And it like, this TikTok to me was like the funniest example I could find of it. But this game, oh my god, this shit looks so fucking frustrating. And this game looks like one of those games I'm gonna have to treat like Saints Row 2022. When it becomes free, I'll get it for free and play it, but I'm not paying this shit. I gotta wait 2 years for the game to be finished. This is basically a 70, 60, however many it is, $40 beta. So he's driving, chilling. I'm looking at it, seeing that it says Mindseye gameplay sarcastically. I'm like, what the fuck is so bad about this? Then
use the gun you were just issued.
Not a problem.
you gotta give it a second. It's a slow burn. I fast forwarded. One day, it'll get there. One day.
Failed. You abandoned the mission. I never got a waypoint. Didn't know where to go, so I just kept going straight.
This game just doesn't have a fucking waypoint, or his shit is glitching out and he can't see the waypoint.
Gotta find it. Give me a waypoint. Give me a waypoint. Not.
Did I not say? And what makes it even worse is this game is fake linear. So I also watched a video by Some Ordinary Gamers, aka Mudahar, where he was talking about and explaining this game. Apparently this game was supposed to be open world, but because of bugs and glitches, they couldn't let the game be open. They just gave you the story parts of the world and let you play let it make it so that you play the game linearly to like when you're driving around in the world and stuff like that, you're playing this game very linearly, and they'll in a future update unlock and let you roam in a free world, in a free open world. I said, huh? A open world game releasing day one with no open world? My soundboard gonna load in a second.
While I'm in this bit playing Five Nights at Freddy's, whole time you was supposed to stay on the camera and hover over it for it to load, but you know I'm a bit slow, so I didn't understand that.
He's going through all the cameras, if you notice.
If you don't get him back on screen, we risk losing the asset.
None of the cams work. What do you mean get him on screen? None of the cams work. None of the drones work.
I like the idea of this game, but it looks like I don't like the actual game.
This was meant to be a simple task, and even that's too difficult.
What are we talking about? The cam started working at last second.
I can't lie. It's not looking good for Mindseye, so this is just a video I'm putting out there as a PSA. If you are interested in Mindseye, I need you to wait a good 6 months till that shit goes on sale, till it ends up on a Humble Bundles or something like that, or until you get it free and like PlayStation Plus, because this shit is not coming to Game Pass. Game Pass got actually good working games up there. Another thing I wanted to brush over though, like real quickly. Wait, do I want to do these first? No, another one I wanted to brush over quickly because I know like doing a whole video by this self on it is MatPat is working towards and on. I'm gonna play the video so he can explain better, but he's working on and towards legislation to make being a content creator better and more clear in terms of legal sense. I'm gonna play it, then I'm gonna share any thoughts I have on it and whatnot.
We all know the major headline grabbing topics, right? Everything from online privacy, responsible use of AI, addictive algorithms, protection of children on the internet, the list goes on and on. Creators are some of the first people, the first businesses to actually have to confront these issues head first on a daily basis.
Which is very, very true, because even if you think about it now, like especially if you've been using TikTok recently, TikTok is very location based, right? So if you live in New York, you're probably going to get TikToks for New York businesses or businesses that are right outside of New York. So New York borders on New Jersey. So they might give you a business in New Jersey, or they might give you a business in upstate New York, which for the people who live in New York City, upstate New York, that's basically another state because of how far everything, literally everything over there is. Excuse me. But like I was saying, yeah, he's very right. Like now I'm seeing a lot of businesses, like just casual businesses, like random stuff, to big companies like Cold Stone Creamery start their own TikToks. Like the amount of business owners that start TikToks and genuinely get people to walk through their doors because they'll go, oh, I seen a TikTok and you were in my neighborhood, and you know I built my FYP too local, so I said, you know what, let me come through and check it out. Not even on some Keith Lee or whatever food person recommended it, or whatever person that gets tattoos recommended it. They see it on TikTok, they go, oh, I need this service, so let me go get it from there because I saw it on TikTok. That's a very real thing that a lot of people are going through. So yeah, and like content creators even more so, because like when you own a brick and mortar business, you still have the possibility of people coming in, like just by I'm walking down the street or I'm driving by and I see it. But when people go out their way that otherwise would have never seen your store to go to your store, that is very invaluable, especially if you got your brick and mortar placed in a bad spot. But in terms of if you're a content creator and all your money comes from the internet, there is no brick and mortar store for somebody to walk in and buy a shirt from you. They want to buy a shirt, they got to go to your website. And to give enough fucks to go to your website, they got to know who you are. You see how the loop comes in what he's talking about, as in they have to deal with it head first every day on a daily basis.
Through this creator caucus and through the conversations that it's going to inspire.
And like another reason, I hate to pause, but another reason why it's great that he's doing this is because a lot of them people up there, so they don't really understand the internet a lot. It's a lot of it. It's a whole bunch of videos on it, but it's a lot of old people in Congress and stuff like that. So a lot of them can't even begin to understand the concepts of how all of this social media stuff works. So somebody like MatPat, who is a very well-respected Caucasian, that's a very important piece, Caucasian, and I know like MatPat isn't trying to bring race into it or anything, but I feel like that's necessary to mention. Caucasian, as a very respectable Caucasian creator who never hit 1 million followers and said, time to hit up 1 million kids and see which one respond first, I think he's a perfect person to do this because his content wasn't any type of goofy shit. Like MatPat, because what I always say is when it comes to children's content, a lot of the time when you take your nostalgia out of it, if you look back on the stuff you was watching at a younger age, especially with people who grew up in the more Wild West style YouTube where people was bugging the fuck out left and right, as an adult, you're going to look at it with your adult brain. You're going to put your hips on your shoulders and say, why did I ever watch this? This is stupid. There's no entertainment value. It's not funny. I was just laughing because they said fuck a lot, you know? So his content actually can age and grow with you, and you can watch it at a younger age and an older age. Not too many content creators I watched when I was younger are like that. So to see him in specific do it, especially with him putting MatPat channel to the side, the game theory channel to the side, I think he's a perfect person to do it.
That we can help educate legislators on these fast-moving, ever-evolving issues so that legislation is timely and relevant.
Yes.
On the other hand, some of the issues that we're going to be speaking about are...
I think that's another important part too, the timely and relevant part, because like I was watching somebody talk about it earlier today, but the internet makes it so that news cycles move faster than they ever have before. Because think about it, like I wasn't alive in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. 90s and 80s and stuff like that. But even if I just think back to when I was littler, yeah, that's a word, littler, and like the 90s. Even if I think back to like when I was littler in like the 2000s and stuff like that, you only got your news at certain times of day. So for example, unless like you're buying a newspaper and you can read it whenever, most people watch news on TV, right? Whether it be fuck nigga fake news Fox 5, or it be something like Pix 11, there's Fox 5, Pix 11, dumb niggas watch Inside Edition. Whenever you wanted to watch the news though, my point is it was at a certain time of day. If you wanted to know what was going on around the world or in your neighborhood, you watch CNN at, let's say, 8 o'clock. You had another chance at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something like that. And then in the morning, you watch it at like 8 o'clock. And then maybe there'll be some light news or like some breaking news or something like that that they may play throughout the day and stop a broadcast for. You saw your news in doses at certain specified times. Nowadays, even if you're not always on your phone, at any random time when you're on your phone, you could get blitzed with crazy news information. Something, and like even with newspapers, right? Newspapers were outdated the day they came out because it was talking about yesterday's news. News stations, even with breaking news, they're isolated to whatever time slot the news is next going on. So if something happens at 1 and the next time the news comes on is at 5, it'll take at least 4 hours for you to hear about it. Right now, if I go outside my home and a police officer gets shot and I pull out my phone and go live as that police officer is on the ground doing a Dougie, you're seeing it. With the news, you weren't gonna see it. It was gonna be X amount of hours until the next news broadcast come on where they'll say developing story and then talk about it. So he's very right in the timely part, because internet moves real fucking fast. Like, the internet is one of, I could say, the fastest moving human inventions, because it contains the collective conscious of everybody out this bitch.
Most exciting of headlines, but are equally important
True.
and critical to the survival of this budding ecosystem. Things like clarification of tax codes for a new category of entrepreneur and access to small business.
That there's nothing like it that existed, because a lot of people may say, oh, it's just like being an actor, or it's just like being a television host or something like that. But it's like, nah, not really. Because when you're a television host, or when you're an actor, when you're a television host, right, you're getting a consistent check from a company that can take taxes out and all that. You fill out your tax forms, they take taxes out, you just file at the end of the year. When you are an internet content creator, the amount of money you make off of your content is very, very dynamic. It's a purely, not a commission-based job, as in you get paid. No, it is purely commission-based. So this month, I could drop one video and make $5,000. Next month, I could drop 15 videos and make $500. That's not the same as other businesses. And in the way that you have to pay taxes for it, because like, depending on when you're self-employed, depending on how you're self-employed, you may have to pay taxes more than once a year. So it's just like small little nuanced stuff where it's like, yeah, there clarification does need to be made in legislation
And resources. Every congressional district has itself a creator-led business, and there are more and more appearing each and every day. This isn't just an East Coast,
it's an
West
around the
Coast
world
issue,
thing, but
or a Middle America industry.
US.
This is an everyone industry.
That's a fact, because a nigga in Montana right now could have 5 million followers. That's not contained to Montana. There's niggas in New York with 5 million followers. There's niggas in LA with 5 million. Niggas in South Carolina, Texas, fucking New Hampshire, Rhode, Wyoming, Oregon, just all these other random assortment of
Many of
states.
the issues that are facing the creator economy are also increasingly impacting small businesses and civilians at large. More and more, all companies are relying on these digital...
And then especially after 2020, when everybody wanted to be a content creator,
digital platforms to get their messages out and to grow their customer bases or to improve their growth potential. So in our mind, this is just as much a creator economy caucus as it is a future economy caucus. And so it is our great honor and our great privilege to be working with Representatives Clark and Van Dyne for recognizing the value of this space and for including us and other creators in these very important discussions moving forward. Thank you. Back to you.
And that's especially important because in this last upcoming election, how many times did you see presidential candidates going up against each other, going on different YouTubers podcasts instead of the news? Look at the reason why I call the fucking current mayor Eric Adams. Look at why I call him content creator Adams. This nigga was in office in New York and Miami on a fucking podcast. So increasingly more and more, the content creator space is getting to the point to where the president wants to go on fucking kick streams in a relevant ass platform. But off of that, to some more lighter topics. Not really lighter topics, to some more heavy topics. The original Nintendo Switch 2's biggest flaws. The original Nintendo Switch's biggest flaws are already happening on Switch 2. Now, if you're unaware or you're a little bit stupid, I'm gonna break it down like this. You nice and simple. You thought Joy-Con drift was gonna be relegated. That was gonna be a Switch 1 thing. Once the Switch 2 comes out, we're gonna have Hall effect controllers, or we're gonna have controllers that don't have planned obsolescence built into them, and we're gonna have these great controllers that are gonna last years and years. Psych, nigga. These controllers, yeah, stick drift. Stick drift is already happening. Already happening to people. And between stick drift and the orange screen of death, which is like an early glitch for the Switch, where imagine the red ring of death, but the Nintendo Switch version. Nintendo Switch 2 occurrence of it. I don't have to read this article. Just wanted to let you know, if you're a Switch owner and you're using your fucking Joy-Cons, first off, you're fucking crazy, but second off, stop that shit. This one I thought I would want to watch it and give a fuck, but I don't. And this one I kind of want to skim over real quick. See what they talking about in terms of SAG-AFTRA. All SAG-AFTRA, whatever the fuck, members are instructed to return to work on productions under IMA, blah, 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 blah. The National Board will meet in special session tomorrow, the 12th of June, 2025, so that's today, to consider the tentative agreement. If approved, so this is fucking yappage. If approved, they'll go back to work pretty soon. It's suspended for now. I thought there was like a definite resolution. That being said, give me like 2-3 minutes and I'm gonna start the stream back up for Outer Wilds.